Welcome back for another episode of Strive for 25. Joel Farrell here, and looking forward to another episode with Strive for 25. And I'm Joel Farrell, and I have a really amazing guest on today, Amber Anians. And this falls into our savings equation series: income minus your expenses equals your savings. And again, tons of content out there about cutting your expenses and budgets and whatnot. And this fits right into, hey, you know what? Being able to build income and generate more income to be able to get ahead. And Amber's got a really cool story, working a regular job and kind of building a business on the side. And it's now become full-time and, both feet into the deep end kind of a thing. And so, Amber, just looking forward to really digging into your business and kind of what got you here and some of the how and the why. And if you could just kind of tell us what you do and kind of where you're at right now with the business.
Okay, yeah. So we're Blaze Candle Co. We manufacture soy candles. With a lot of them are snarky sayings on them. And yeah, we started right before COVID, kind of as a side hustle, and it ended up becoming our full gig when everything shut down. And I'm like, well, I guess this is the time to go all in. So now we have a store in St. Peter's where it's kind of like a one-stop gift shop. We have all kinds of cool gifts. And we do everything in-house. We make the candles in-house. Our office is here. So we do all of our fulfillment, our online fulfillment in-house. So yeah, we have a lot going on.
That's awesome. So you started right before COVID hit. In February, March of 2020 is when COVID hit, obviously. So at that time, I think you were working in the restaurant industry, right? Full time.
Yes.
And, how much time, how long were you working on this on the side until COVID hit? What was that kind of first part of that journey?
Yeah, I don't know. So immediately I would work on it, 3 days a week. And once we put our business on Etsy, and the order started rolling in, like literally the first night we put one of our specific candles on Etsy, it was like cha-ching, 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 like all night. I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's when it started getting serious, and we worked on it like every time I got off work, I would work on it the weekends. And then, yeah, it was a lot. I would get off work and work on the candle business.
So working tons of extra hours, and obviously when things are going well, you got to rock and roll with what's going on and try to keep it going.
Right.
But what was the inspiration? What made you say, hey, you know what? A year previous to that, you weren't doing this on the side, but all of a sudden you said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it, make it happen, and get that product out there and going. Like, what was the kind of walk us through what happened? Was something changing in life? What was going on when you say, this is the time to just do it?
Well, actually, I started with a friend. She was making little candles, like little tin candles, and she would write on them with like puff paint, like the scent. And I kept seeing her post, and she was very dedicated. And I reached out to her because I've always been really good at building a brand. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18, pretty much. But I reached out to her and told her, hey, I could build you a brand. So we had our first lunch meeting, and everything was going great. But long story short, we ended up parting ways because she wanted to keep it small. Like, she liked doing the mason jar candles, and more, I don't know. She just wanted to keep it really small. And I wanted to grow and expand and be, in everybody's houses across America and internationally as well. So we decided to split ways.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's what it started it. I saw her products and I was like, I like, this would be a very good brand. I love candles. It's always been something that I've really loved. So that's kind of what took it off.
Do you remember kind of what time frame that you officially launched?
February 2020.
No way. Okay. Like
yeah.
Literally like right before things went down.
Right.
Wow.
Before that started our Etsy page.
Wow. And so you started that, and so I'm not an expert on Etsy, so you put a good product out there and people see it and then they'll purchase it, right? So what was the differentiator at that point for that to go right off the shelves, so to speak, right away? I mean, what was going on? Is that common for someone to put a product on Etsy like that and have it go sell real quick like that?
I don't think so because I've tried doing an Etsy page before. I made sugar scrubs like in 2017. I was like, oh, I'm gonna start an Etsy page. And I got like 2 sales and they were from friends. And then I decided, yeah, this isn't what I want to do. But I think the height or like the beginning of COVID is what really kind of helped because it was online. People were shopping online more because they weren't able to go to stores. The candle that like took off was it says my last fuck. Oh, look, it's on fire. Um, so when I put that on, it was like that's what kind of went crazy. I think just because everybody was just starting to get done with everything. I don't know. I don't know what really took that, like what made it take off so fast, but
Sometimes
that
it's
was,
just good timing, right?
yeah, I
Can't
think,
predict it.
and we didn't mean for it to happen that way, but I'm happy it did.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing though, is that like you try things, you try things, you try things, and finally something, breaks through and you just keep a good thing going. And I know you guys went to this open the actual location
Yes.
recently. And so you guys but before that you were operating how and where?
Before we opened our shop, we were running the business in our house. So we have a 2-level house, and the whole bottom level, we had a candle room, which is where I made my candles, a candle storage room, which is where we stored them, and then we had the office. And then in the holidays, my husband has like a man cave, like living room. We had to move 3 tables out there and do all the shipping from out there because it was just completely insane. And that's when we're like, okay, we're doing this. Yeah, done with it. He's like, I want my living room back.
So you've got the Etsy store and you're selling candles. At what point in time do things start to kind of branch off into other products? I could see behind there. You guys have a lot of different products that you sell there, but how and when did you guys be able to branch out to the other options to be able to sell?
I started reaching out to like local vendors. Pretty much immediately that summer of 2020, I reached out to she's now my friend. Her name's Lisa. She does like little keychain wallets. I reached out to her and said, hey, do you want to do gift boxes with me? So I would purchase, or we would do it like as needed. We made like graduation gift boxes, and then we did like Mother's Day gift boxes where we would add an extra, that her little wallet in the gift box. And then we would add a few things here and there, like t-shirts, which did well, but we weren't really able to expand too much until we got our shop where we can actually have the product sitting on the shelves.
So you got the foot traffic, obviously, that's coming in. People know you in the area. And for the listeners out there, if they wanted to find you online, just as a recap, it'll be in the description below, obviously, but for them to find you online, where would they find you at?
They can find us on Facebook or Instagram, Blazed Candle Co., BLAZED Candle Co. And then they can find us on Etsy, which is blazecandleco.etsy.com, or our website, which is blazecandleco.com.
And kind of looking at the actual products and this, you mentioned the sayings and the unique kind of phrasing and the verbiages. I mean, when I saw it and other people I've talked to, it stands out. It's memorable. It's recognizable. And I think I shared with you a while back one of the Harry Styles candles, and my kids are 3 years old and they love Canyon Moon and they want to hear it before school every single day on repeat. So I was like, I need that candle. And that's just one example. But what's the inspiration behind some of the mindset? Because all of it's kind of different mindset stuff. But what's the mindset with that? Just trying to make it fun, and tell us more about the inspiration behind that.
Yeah. So we try to have like something for everybody. So I'll think one day like, oh, I need to make more dog lover gifts. So then I'll like go through and try to figure out what sayings we want to do that would appeal to people that love dogs or cats or whatever. Or like if something's going viral, like Harry Styles, or like a certain TV show, we'll try to do that. Try to follow the trend, but we just literally just try to have something for everybody, whether it be somebody fighting cancer and they need a funny candle to make them feel better, or a sweet and candle that'll help them smile a little bit, all the way to like, I don't know, coffee lovers or gifts for best friends. Just we have everything.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
so you've been going at this for a little over, I guess, 2 years now. Now you move
Yep.
into the actual physical location. What are some of the things that you see yourself wanting to accomplish 1 year, 5 years down the road? Because you mentioned, being able to build a brand and be able to help other people with that, and then that's a very, very unique skill set. I mean, what do you see this thing becoming over time?
Eventually, like I want our website to be like I want to be able to create all of our stuff be ours. Obviously, we'll still have our other local vendors because I really like supporting our local vendors. But I want to have just branded merchandise from T-shirts to coffee mugs to I don't know prints, everything that is branded with our brand because I feel like our brand really stands out and is appealing to people. So that's kind of one of my goals.
So, following you guys on Instagram, you guys do a good job, staying fresh, staying out there, keeping your brand out there. But in terms of the next aspiring entrepreneur that may be doing into whatever industry or different genre or product, what type of advice would you give to the next aspiring entrepreneur?
You just gotta stick with it, and it's so hard because there's so many days, like especially with like it'll be like, oh my god, like we're not getting that many sales today. What's going on? Is something wrong? You just have to stick with it and never give up. Just even when sales are low or any trials that you may run into, just stick with it. That's probably the best advice that I can even give myself. So it gets
Yeah,
hard.
and that's one of the things that we talk about too on this channel is building habits, building a structure, because just like New Year's resolution, right? You start on something for a week or two or a month and you don't see results, and so then you start to second guess yourself or you doubt yourself, and then maybe you go on to the next quick fix thing that's going to get you to your goal. And it's so hard because you just don't, if you don't see the results right away, you don't know, do I keep going and have that faith that's going to work out, or do I need to kind of course correct and work on something else? And so it's that fine balance that you're trying to figure out, do I keep going or do I adjust? And in our world, in mortgages and sales, I mean, there's a lot of things that we deal with every day, chaos and failure, and then we have to just keep going. Kind of the same thing you're thinking, that you're talking about. But in terms of like, I talk about my own process that I get ready for the day to be able to battle with the chaos and getting that frame of mind and kind of training my subconscious brain to be able to reach my goals. Do you have, because I know you work a lot of hours, I mean, do you have any systems or processes that you and your team go through to be able to approach your day, your week, and go at it?
I really like yours. Like I wish I could do that because I have ADD. So it is like extremely hard to follow. Like I'll buy a really cool planner and I'm like, oh, I gotta, I'm gonna write everything down that I need to do today, and then I'll realize a week later, oh gosh, I never even looked at that planner that I bought a week ago. Um, but for the most part, we just come in and tackle it. Like we come in, we print the orders, we pull the orders. So we do that. With the store, it's a little different because we don't get as much done because people are walking in, which we're grateful for. That's what we want. We want business. But it's our biggest problem right now is finding somebody that like finding an employee that's like us. Like I always say, I need another me. But yeah, we don't really have a true system just because we're so
Take care of business.
yeah, that's what we do. We just take it as it comes. But I want to follow like what you do, your routine. When I was reading that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what I need to do. But I am not a person.
Well, see, and that's the thing. That's what this channel really is all about. I mean, I'm a byproduct of my own demons and ADHD, whatever you're gonna call it. And it's like, you know what? I've got big goals that I want to accomplish, and I'm not where I want to be. So I just got to figure out a way. And reading books and talking to other people that can help me and coaches and things like that. And you kind of just over time working and working and working and just trying to get little bitty improvements, and you kind of build your own thing that works. And for me, there's a book called The Power of Consistency by Weldon Long, and this guy was in jail three different times in the late 80s and early 90s, and this guy was reading all kinds of the self-help books and all these things, try to take his life into a different direction. And he kind of coins the his prosperity plan, where he basically, he maps out the goals he wants to achieve and a couple action items he wants to be able to do it every single day to be able to get there. And he looks at that every single day, 15 minutes a day. And just like riding, driving home from work, after a long day and you're in rush hour traffic, maybe on the phone, maybe you stop at the store to grab something, and next thing you know, you're at home safely without ever consciously thinking about the actual drive. Your subconscious brain's taking over. And in that book, he talks about, hey, harnessing the power of the subconscious brain to be able to help you reach your goals. And, that's a process. It's not an overnight thing, but if you do start that journey and learn more about it, it's an opportunity to be able to help kind of get to that next level. And so something that we talk a lot about on this channel. And that's the thing is that, I'm a work in progress. I'm working on things every single day to try to be able to get to the next level. And I'm learning things every day from different people. Already from you, I'm learning things, but, at the end of the day, we're never a finished product. We're always a work in progress. You mentioned really being involved in the community and also finding good people, but are there people out there that you say, hey, this is the type of person that I want to be able to meet and network with, locally, not locally, just somebody who are the right type of people that you're trying to be able to connect with and meet out there, if any?
Oh gosh. I guess other local business owners, whether it be retail, online, or like what you're doing, just anybody that you can learn and grow with, I think is a good person to know, whether it be shooting ideas or, just talking about ways to grow or goals or whatever. But somebody I really, really need is somebody that knows SEO. I have a meeting with somebody tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But I really want to get our website rocking and rolling to where our most of our income is Etsy right now. I pay Etsy ads, but I really want our website to do better than our Etsy. So yeah, that's somebody, one person.
Okay. Yeah. And that's something that you can pay a lot of money for and may never, ever, ever see results. So it's kind of a fine line. I'm obviously not an expert on that, but now that you mentioned that, I do know somebody that I might need to connect you to that knows that world. So I will double check with her. So very cool. Very cool. So, when I asked this question again, any advice that you would give, and you kind of just said, just go do it. Hey, just jump 2 feet into the deep end, just go do it. Any other words of wisdom you pass on to the next person? Putting you on the spot still. Sorry.
I know. I was telling him or you before the show that I get really nervous with questions that are on the spot. So I'm asking him what kind of questions are you going to ask me so I can be prepared? But I guess just believe in yourself. That's still one of my biggest struggles. I need to practice what I preach. But just even when you doubt yourself, just believe in yourself and move forward and do what you want to do. Just do it. I think that's the best advice I can give. I still struggle with that.
It's okay to fail. Do it, get the experience to fail. And then like Kobe says, hey, there are no failures. I just need more time to figure it out.
Right. So, yes.
Thank you so much for coming on board and sharing your story and some insights and your branding and your business. And tell Kyle that we said hi, your husband, Kyle. And our audience, again, where can we find you at online?
blazecandleco.com or blazecandleco.etsy.com.
Cool. And audience, if you know anybody in SEO world that can help out, please reach out to Amber. But Amber, thank you so much for coming on board, and we'll have to have you back on very soon.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Joel. It was good talking to you.